Bingo, we are on, and welcome to today's Wednesday morning webinar, Real Estate Mavericks webinar, Holiday Gift Strategies of America's Top Realtors. Now, are these really the gift strategies of America's Top Realtors? I don't actually know. I have to admit, I maybe extrapolated that one, exaggerated that one a bit. I know that these are great gift strategies. I don't actually know if they're the top realtors, but I know that they are definitely top realtors when it comes to creative gift strategies. We did some research in order to see who was doing. There's several articles out there. Inman has a good article. I've done some edgy, cool gifts, many over my career, and then there's several people in my network. So we took the best. I think we have either 14 or 15 today of the best gift strategies, ones that I know your clients would just really love, set you apart, make you unique, make you the Maverick that I know you are. And so here we go. We're going to get started without further ado. A holiday gift strategy of America Top Realtors. And let me pop down here. First, we are going to have at the end, you know that I couldn't do gift strategies without giving you a little bonus coaching. So I'm going to give you two little bonus coaching segments at the end of this today. One is what I call lemonade stand prospecting. And I mentioned that the other day in a post or something, and I got a whole slew of emails. Greg, what's this lemonade stand prospecting strategy? So I'm going to talk to you about that. I will tell you, you're going to love that. That is one of the most fun things I ever did back when I was selling real estate. It made me a ton of money. And then the other thing is something that I just taught my son, Casey. Casey is brand new in the business, and he was just able to get a really great listing for $1,395,000. I helped him with that, and he's doing a great job. I'm so sorry Casey can't be on this morning, but he's showing that listing. That's a very tough price range. I'll talk about that later. Anything above $1 million out here is a soft price range, but he has had showing after showing after showing, and it's all coming from using what I call my magic text message formula, So at the end of this kind of gift run through, I'm going to teach you the magic text message formula. And if you have listings that you want to generate showings on, I promise you that will work. And it's got three little cool aspects to it, and you have to work every one of those in. I have those all laid out for you at the end of this very quick gift webinar. So here we go, guys. So don't blow this once a year opportunity. I mean, holidays, these big holidays come around once a year. And the thing I want you to realize is you don't have to spend a lot of money to get big credit. The whole idea is to be creative. I made up this word expensivity. I think it's a made up word. Creativity trumps expensivity. Every day of the week, being creative, whether it's in your advertising, marketing, all the things you do, not just in gifts. The idea you can save yourself a bundle by being creative, being a differentiator, setting yourself apart, asking yourself. One of the things I end every webinar with, as you know, and most of the emails I send, is there a Maverick in you? Well, is there a Maverick in the things you do? Think about that all the time. Is there a Maverick in the gifts you give? I mean, that's always what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about everything I do, the way I pick up the phone, the way I give gifts, the way I shake hands, everything. Is there a Maverick in that? And a Maverick to me simply means, will people say, wow, that's in a positive way, Greg is different. He's a unique guy, and in a positive way, not in a negative way. So that's what I want you to think about with respect to the gifts. And there are a number of different types of gifts, so we're going to get started here with the first one. And the first one is be the first gift of the season. And that has nothing to do with exactly what you give. It's just a matter of whatever it is you do, even if it's your card, try to be the very first, try to be early, try to be now, try to do it like way early. I mean, right after Thanksgiving. The idea is that people will say, wow, you will stand apart because whatever you're giving, whatever card you're sending, whatever you're doing, it'll be the first one of the season they receive. And to make that have a real impact, add a note to it, whether it's in your card or a note with your gift, add a note that why you're making it the first one of the season. Make it something appropriate to being the first one of the season. So you actually say, I'm giving you this. It could be a seasonal gift that you give somebody right now, because we're still, what is this? This is like still, I think we're still November. This is like what, 29th or 30th of November. So big deal here to make this. You could still get somebody something out like by December 2nd or 3rd or 4th or 5th. It's way early, and you could make it something that people could use over the holidays. So that is really an important thing. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with actually the creativity of the gift itself. It has to do with the creativity of when you actually give this gift or send out this card, whatever you're going to do. If you can't be the first one of the season, be the last one. So one of the things that I did a few times in the past is I did nothing right at the season, during the season. And, you know, people generally get, now, of course, I did to my family and close friends. I'm talking client gifts now. I would put nothing out right, you know, prior to Christmas, but afterwards, like in the New Year, week of New Year's, that's when I would put something out, a gift that was appropriate to after the season. And that really made me stand apart. And I explained in that, I did this like 3 or 4 different years, and it had a huge impact. I explained in that I didn't do it during the season because I know that everyone is so completely overwhelmed with so much stuff during the season. But I thought this particular thing would really help you, you know, be meaningful in your life after the season. And by the way, one of the things I did was a personal journal. I'm going to talk about that later as an actual gift you give. A personal journal is an amazingly good gift to give the first week in January as opposed to Christmas. You give it then, and then you recommend how one can journal. And there are all kinds of books and courses on journaling and the impact journaling can have. And that's a great gift to give like after the holidays, right after the holidays. So if you're not going to be first, think about being last. Next thing is to hand deliver tangible gifts. And I can't tell you the impact this made when I did this. This, of all the client gift giving strategies that I use, Roseanne and I would sometimes take 2-3 days off a week or so before Christmas. And all we do is fill. In fact, we had a Suburban back then, right, Roseanne? This is back in the days of the Suburban. We would fill the back of our Suburban with gifts, and we would just go out and we'd have all the addresses, sometimes 100, 150, 200 different people and clients, and we just drive around town and we drop off a personal gift to them. And as Roseanne's just holding the sign up in front of me with a big smile, why don't you come over on the screen with me? No, she's not going to come on the screen with me. She says here, my apple bread, apron, flour.
My apron full of flour machine, I would deliver.
Okay, well, all right. So I got it. So that's right. There's the apple bread, and she'd wear her apron, and you'd have what? The flour on your cheek. Yeah. Okay. So you see where the personality is in this family. It's definitely not with me. It's right over here. So she'd get in the Suburban with me. We'd have this apple bread that she made up. Now, what would it cost per unit? Okay. So we bought them at Costco. What do you think they cost a piece? For how many? Yeah, I mean, we'd buy hundreds of these things. They just cost almost nothing at Costco, and they were beautifully done, taste amazing. Go out and okay, all right. So yeah, so she'd rewrap each one. See, I'm getting my gift coaching here. And she's going, I'm not the gift expert. She's the gift expert.
That's because I did all the work.
I know you did all the work. She definitely did all the work. But the bottom line is, wasn't this amazing? We went around and saw all of our clients, and we gave them the apple bread, you know, and they were really touched, and Roseanne would individually wrap each one, and we'd have a personal note to each person on each one. That was really impactful, and we had such a good time doing it. Roseanne and I take like 2-3 days and just nothing else, shut down everything else, and just go around and tell everybody how much we appreciate them and give them the apple bread. So that is a really cool thing to do. I highly recommend it, and I want to reach out to Bud and Kristen Gregg, who I work with here. We're doing a real estate thing together here in Phoenix. And Bud and Kristen had a pie giveaway over Thanksgiving, which I promoted, where they had clients coming to our office to give away. They gave away, I don't know how many, gazillion pies over Thanksgiving. And then they went out and delivered a bunch of pies. And that was so cool. I mean, you guys are just, Bud and Kristen, you guys are rock stars. I'm just proud to be working with you. Okay, so the third thing is an aggregate gift to charity. This is something I did that was really, really impactful on my clients. And the way it worked was this. I would give, let's say, a fairly large donation, let's say $5,000. And, you can give $500. You can give whatever fits your budget and the number of clients you have. This was, at a point where I was having, some success in real estate. And I would give like a $5,000 gift to the Phoenix Rescue Mission. That's one of my favorite charities, and I've worked and volunteered down there, and I helped them build their new women's children's center, and I just feel that that's such an amazing charity. And then I would send an individual, and it says here email, actually it was an individual note that I would send. And I wrote that wrong, sent note to my clients, an actual physical card. And I would say something like, in appreciation for your friendship, I made a $5,000 donation to the Phoenix Rescue Mission in your name, in the name of a few other special friends who have made such a difference in my business and my life, and that kind of a thing. And I made it clear that I made this donation not just on their name, but the name of a group of special people in my life. But I really did that. I would make this $5,000 donation, and I would list all the names of the people that this donation was in the name of, and then the Phoenix Rescue Mission would send a thank you note out to all these people saying that just want to acknowledge that Greg Hague has made a $5,000 contribution in your name. And that was hugely, hugely impactful. I remember one year, I think it was 350 people that I made that contribution on behalf of. So look at my cost per person was very low, what, 10 or 15 bucks. And that note, and of course, I let my clients know, and then the Phoenix Rescue Mission sent something out on, and I paid for the postage, so the Phoenix Rescue Mission had no cost at all in that. And wow, what a huge, huge impact that had that year. So if you have a favorite charity, this would be a great way to benefit the charity and also make you look really good with your clients. Then there's individual gifts to charity, and my favorite is an organization called Kiva. If you haven't heard of kiva.org, you should. I've been participated in the Kiva program for I don't know how long, years and years and years. This is such an amazingly cool gift to give to people. You could give like a $25, you could start an account for some of your favorite friends and your clients with Kiva. And what it is you go to the kiva.org website and you see all these hundreds, these thousands of small entrepreneurs, business people in third world countries. I mean, well, in all kinds of countries all over the world. And they need like $1,000 or $1,500, and they aggregate like $20 and $30 contributions, whatever. You can allocate any amount of money you have on account with Kiva that you just do with a credit card, and you can fund these small businesses, and then they get the money back. Generally they pay the money back. They're able to do that, and then the money gets recycled. So this was given to me, Kiva, I think was given to me as a gift 10, 15 years ago or more. And I was so impacted by it and enjoyed and felt so good about helping other people that I started giving Kiva memberships, Kiva accounts, where I'd use my credit card to maybe for 20 or 30 or 40 people, $25 each, and then put that out. And it was something all of them, everybody I ever have done that for has gotten back to me and said, Greg, we so love that. We're so enjoying it. We feel so good about doing this. And they all increased their accounts. I would maybe start them with $25, and all of them would generally up it to $100 or $200 or $300 and start allocating that among various business people. And oh yeah, and as Roseanne's just saying, you go to kiva.org, you personally pick the person. You see photographs of the person and the description of their business, and you can go through them. I mean, it's just fun to just kind of pick the people you want to give money to. So that is an awesome holiday gift. Highly recommend that. Next is something where you focus on family. And if you know the children, I know with a lot of clients in the past, I've gotten to know their kids pretty well. Particularly when the homes didn't sell right away and I was over there a lot, you kind of get to know the kids and the dogs and whatever. And in that kind of a situation, it's really cool to give a family gift. I know a lot of times I would give tickets to to a children's theater or something, and not necessarily season tickets. I mean, season tickets can be very expensive, but you can just give a couple of tickets to this or the kids to that or something, and you can see some different URLs here. You know, the slide deck's available to all you guys. All you have to do is just email Jen at Real Estate Mavericks, and we send you over this slide deck, so you don't have to write this stuff down. But these are some great things to do, and I'll tell you, as long as it doesn't appear false, and that's important here. It cannot appear false. You got to know the kids. If you know the kids, you've gotten to know them while you were either helping the people buy the home or helping the people sell their home, and you give something to the kids as opposed to the adults. Let me tell you, I mean, if you want to win the heart of a parent, just do something nice for the kids. I know you guys know that. Next is personal journal, and I talked about this. I one year, and I've read a lot about it. Realtors. This is one of the most popular gifts that realtors are giving out across the country, that they're feeling to their clients, that they're feeling like is really making an impact. Journaling has become an art, and there are actually courses on journaling and what a difference that can make in your life. And so, you know, the idea of giving a personal journal along with, you can videos, free courses, little books. You can give depending on what you want to spend, you can give a little book on how to journal. And really, I've never been a huge journaler. I take enormous notes, but I do not like journal every night and every morning. I've made a commitment to myself at some point. I just want to try it for a month. I understand from people who do it that they would never stop doing it, but I can tell you that has been a very impactful gift. And I've given that, by the way, not a lot of times, 1 year I gave that as my after the holidays gift in January, and it was hugely impactful. And then you want to make sure, if you do, you want to make sure your name's on it somewhere. You could have it on the back, very small. I would engrave the person's name on the front, have that done. It can be done very inexpensively. The one thing you want to be careful of, though, with gifts is we sometimes get gifts where the company name or the person's name even is big, like on the thing right in the front. And, you know, people don't want an advertisement in their house. So the idea is definitely you want to have a note from yourself on any of these kinds of personalized gifts, but you don't want to make it such that people would consider to be an advertisement and not really keep it out. Yeah, exactly. As Roseanne just said, nobody wants the clock. Nobody wants the big with the home inspector's name like great big on the thing. That is generally not what you want to do. Okay, repetitive gifts. Remind your clients of yourself throughout the year. You guys all know that's a cool thing to do. I will tell you, for the foodie, there are some websites and URLs. That's something I've done a huge amount of. And obviously that is something that's very impactful because the people just keep getting reminded of you every month or every quarter or whenever this comes. For example, some good friends of mine, Bob and Cheryl Glovitz, and Bob has been my friend since law school. I told a fun story about him at a webinar, I think it was my webinar last one, the one before, where Bob and I met in law school, and he was chosen as the captain of our law school like little softball team just to relax. And this was like the first week of law school. And so we were all standing there in the field, like 50 or 60 of us, and this in the first year class. And the two captains were picking people, and Bob got down to me and one other guy. I was like, no, you know, these are obviously, I mean, I was from the Midwest. This is an Eastern law school. And I mean, I'm like, God, I want to be accepted. And here I'm the second to last man standing. And Bob picked me so that I wasn't the total last one, like the one that just had to be taken on the team. And we've been great friends ever since. Well, the reason I bring that up is for my birthday. We just had lunch Sunday, Bob and Cheryl and I, and we've been friends, as I said, since law school. So long, amazing friendship. Bob and Cheryl gave me I think it was, I'll get a delivery of a connoisseur beer of I think it's of every quarter, I get delivery of these different boutique connoisseur beers that I can serve at parties, drink, et cetera, et cetera. And you see a lot of that with wine, but you don't see it with beer. And a lot of people who we entertain for here are beer drinkers, including my son and Maverick coach Brian. He is a total beer connoisseur. And so Brian is going to love that when we get connoisseur beer. But that's a very meaningful gift. And every time that happens, I'll be reminded of Bob and Cheryl throughout the year. Stand-apart subscriptions. Kind of similar to the being the repetitive and people in reminding, but these are a little pricier. These are for, maybe clients and friends and whatever that are more special. But these are the kinds of things that really make you stand apart. I understand. I've not tried it. but I understand this sock 101, that these are like the rock star amazing. Do I have my Maverick socks on? I don't have my Maverick socks on right now. I would hold this up and show you my Maverick socks. But you know, that have all kinds of really cool socks, and you get like what, a sock to the quarter, a sock of the month or something. All of you know Dollar Shave Club. They're just amazing. So these are the kind of things that, and then Rock's Box. I wasn't familiar with that. Jen found that. Evidently, their unique jewelry selections, and you get them delivered repetitively, are pretty cool as well. Okay, so give a gift of experience. See, this year, one of the gifts I'll be giving is this dolphin experience. We have a new dolphin center here. I've not been over there, but these entrepreneurs who put this together in Phoenix, this is like, they spent, I don't know, 50 million, just like millions of dollars to build this huge aquatic dolphin center where you can go see dolphins and et cetera. And the bottom line is that there are lots of experiences like this. What you want to do in your area to make this gift really stand out is you want to make it, what's new? What's new in your area? What kind of an experience thing is new in your area that most people have not gone to, that they've heard about? And if there is that kind of thing, this makes for a remarkable gift. The next thing are locally sourced gifts. This is something that a lot of realtors do. You can read about this around the country. This is one of the most popular gifts out there. For example, maybe there's a local author who has written a book, and you could actually get the local author to autograph the books. Like I autographed the first year that my book came out, How Fathers Change Lives. I mean, that book for both Christmas and for Father's Day, obviously, I autographed hundreds and hundreds of copies of that to various people, from people here in Phoenix, because I'm a local author. I had a best-selling book, and a lot of people wanted to give that to their dads for birthdays, for Christmases, and for Father's Day. So that's what I'm talking about. People came to me, and that really, I think the fathers who received that, I think that was really special, that it was from a local author and it was a book that related to something they were interested in. If they were a father, probably fathering. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Personalization. I talked about that a little bit before. I'll just mention, you guys have all heard of, I'm sure, Personalization Mall. There's a ton of places like that where you personalize things. The key to personalization is best exemplified by a story my friend and partner Harvey McKay tells often. And he, for example, he's given all kinds of personalized gifts over his life, and one of those is a clock that he gave to Muhammad Ali. And it had a very small engraving with a small personal note, a very meaningful, I'm not going to relay what that was, but and this goes back 20, 25, 30 years ago, but a meaningful personal plaque note on it. And Muhammad, every time Harvey would visit Muhammad up at their place in Michigan, and that's where Lonnie and Muhammad have their secondary home. They have their other home here in Phoenix. Of course, Muhammad has now passed away, but they've lived here in Phoenix and then up in Michigan. That clock was always sitting there, right there on the desk, reminding Muhammad of Harvey every time he looked at it. And that can be hugely impactful. You want to be careful to make it personal. You want to be careful not to make it an advertisement, like it's big in the face, because people aren't going to leave that around. But if you have something special you can say to someone in a small little engraving, not just, hey, happy holidays, that's something that they'll treasure. And I'll tell you, I brought an example of that here, and that is this little thing. I don't know if you can see it. I have treasured this. Back when I was studying for the bar exam, I'll hold this up. Back when I was studying for the bar exam, my son Casey at Christmas gave me this little key fob, and on it says, it's kind of worn here, good dads, let's see, what does it say? Good dads set the bar, better dads pass it. So good dads set the bar, better dads pass it. And it kind of wells me up when I'm sorry when I even, this is so meaningful to me. I mean, it's just a little key fob thing. But, I was in the midst of studying for the bar. The bar was in February. This was 7 or 8 years ago when I wanted to take the Arizona bar. I'd been an attorney in Ohio for years, moved to Arizona in 1980, but I'd never taken the Arizona bar. And I was killing myself to study. And Casey just gave me that, and he gave me a big hug at Christmas, and he said, "Dad, I know you're going to rock the bar," and gave me this thing. And I actually took it with me when I went down to take the bar exam. I had it in my pocket, and I've had it ever since. And so I'm just saying, I'm meaningful. So that was so meaningful to me because I was so like 12 hours a day, had virtually no life for about 4 months because I was so committed to getting this done. In any case, I won't get all welled up over that other than to say, Casey, thank you. I know you're not watching this morning, but that's what an engraving, something like that, can do if you really can hit it in terms of something special in a person's life. And I'll mention another thing we do as a tradition is our ornaments. And you might think about that. We, for 30 years, virtually ever since the kids, going back over 30 years, the kids were born, we give the kids, and then Roseanne and I each give each other an ornament that commemorates something special that happened to that person during the year. I know, like, one year when Roseanne, I'd gotten her a new Suburban, this maybe 20 years ago, within a week, she sideswiped somebody and, we got it fixed, but kind of ripped the side off the Suburban and red paint. And so I actually so I went out and, it takes me longer to find Roseanne's ornament and get it right every year than to all her Christmas shopping. But I had to go out. I went out and found this little model Suburban, and then, took it and just, dented up the side and put red paint on it and all this and made it into a little ornament and that type of thing. And oh my gosh, we've got, you imagine every year we've got one for each of our kids and one for each of us that we give each other. So we fill our tree with these ornaments, and the ornament kind of commemorates the big thing that happened in the person's life that year. And I have no doubt what my ornament's going to be this year, and that is going to be me with my it's going to be some kind of a funny ornament with, and I don't know this, Roseanne will give me whatever she gives me, but it's going to be something with me and a broken leg and whatever. And I'm just telling you that as it can also be a hugely impactful thing. And to talk to people about starting that kind of tradition if they have young kids. Okay, Consumables with a story. And I'm not even going to belabor this. You guys know that I have given like thousands of jars of cherry butter. That's my personal gift that goes all the years that I listed and sold real estate, that goes to my clients, the pre-listing gift. But I have given thousands of jars of cherry butter over the holidays. And let me tell you why. The key here is to have something. What do these cost? I get them. This is what I buy, Brownwood Farms. This is the image of it. And I could walk over and get you, a bunch, show you. I have jars that I eat. I eat it all the time. I have since I was a kid. I don't know if it was Brownwood Farms back then, but here's the key to that. The key to that is to have this thing you're giving somehow relate to you and your personal backstory. That's the key. And even to this day, I give a lot of cherry butter with a personal note as to why this is so meaningful to me, that I became aware of it when I was a water ski instructor at Walloon Lake, Michigan. It's been something I've loved ever since. I've eaten it virtually every day. I put it on my little toasties in the morning when I have my fruit and my omega flaxseed, and then my veggie protein powder on it. And I have my green tea, and then I have these little flat out Crispies, and I put Benecol on those, and then I put I actually put Manuka honey in the morning, that really high potency Manuka honey, and then a little bit of cherry butter. And that's just and I talk about that in my little notes, and then I just use the same note for everybody but customize it to them. So I won't belabor that, other than to say, if you've got something that you can get known for, that relates to your personal backstory, that can be a very meaningful gift as well. Home gifts. Every year, one of the things that you read a lot about that realtors do, because we are into homes, is what are the latest and coolest like kitchen utensils. There's all kinds of stuff being invented that makes cooking easier, cutting more efficient. There's just all kinds of things every year. And I always, every year, one of the things I do is stop at one of our high-end like kitchen places out here just to see what those are, to buy Roseanne some of the newest, latest trick things. And I've given a lot of those as gifts. And also Kevin Ward, who's another real estate coach and trainer. Kevin's amazing. Kevin's a dear friend of mine, Kevin and Julie. In fact, we were just texting yesterday. Well, Kevin visited me at our home in Wyoming, and as a kind of a gift, sent us a hot water dispenser. We don't have instant hot water up there, and this is one of those things where you can get instant hot water, because I drink a lot of green tea during the day. And I mean, it's a little more expensive than, you want to give that to, only clients. But that, if you know people, I got to tell you, and of course we then bought one here, even though we have instant water. That's even better, hotter water. So we have one here at our home in Scottsdale as well. We bought a secure one. I think they're like 70 or 80 bucks on Amazon. I use that every day. I mean, Kevin, Julie, thank you. The one up there, motivated me to buy one down here. And it's something I use and think about you every single day. So if you hit it with a gift like that, I mean, that's just an out of the park cool thing to do. Meal delivery service. Mandy, who is the, accountant, right arm, CFO for Real Estate Maverick. She's been with me going back 15 years. She was letting me know the other day that she has this service. I think, Jen, I think this is the one Mandy has Green Chef. I think that's the one. I asked you to check that one out. But she has this service where they deliver organic food that you can order, all these different things, organic food packages. And then everything's all pre-done. All you have to do is cut it. All the portions are pre-done. And then in 30 minutes, you cook up and have your own meal. And Mandy's been loving that, she and her husband, Seth. And so she actually sent me one. I just saw an email that I'm going to get one here, a free meal to try that out. Because I told her when she told me about that, that would be an awesome holiday gift. I've never given that, but I think to give people something like that, I mean, and there's several different, Jen found these other places where you can do that. I think that's a great gift idea. I'm really excited to get my meal from Green Chef. And I mentioned to Roseanne this morning, when it comes, I'm not a good cook, so please cook that up for me. And Roseanne said she would, as long as, Mandy, it doesn't have beans in it. Roseanne is not, she cannot stand to cook anything with beans in it. So hopefully it doesn't have beans in it. And then the Get Personal, well, I really talked about that in your holiday cards. This is a photo that Thanksgiving I took. We had family and friends over for Thanksgiving, and you'll see, of course, you see all the kids there. You see Jason, my nephew, in the upper right. Well, you and Casey, who just got into real estate, standing up back behind Roseanne. Brian up there to the left. Wendell, who's my dear friend and been my massage guy for 25, 30 years. Corey down in the left, and I could go through all the names. But bottom line is, when you're sending out cards, I recommend, Roseanne, I've done this a lot of realtors do this, personalize them. I mean, take the time to get a photograph of you or you and your family or whatever you want, you and your dogs. I mean, personal cards with personal photographs that either are standalone or company gifts are just always more impactful than just the typical ones you buy at the store. It takes a little planning. Everything does. Being a Maverick takes a little bit of planning too, but what a difference that makes. And so now that's our gifts. So I'm going to do a little bit of maybe 5-10 minutes of coaching here. So bonus Maverick coaching number 1 in our little gift strategy thing here. And this was just, I'm just doing this because I was asked to, and that is lemonade stand prospecting. What's lemonade stand prospecting? I mentioned it the other day, and I thought I had taught it before, but maybe I haven't. So here's what lemonade stand prospecting is all about. So back, 25, 30 years ago, that's when I got started in this. I had the idea that, farming a geographic neighborhood, and how could I impact it in a Mavericky way, okay? In a Mavericky way, in a different, creative, unique way. How could I stand apart? And this is when the kids, Brian, Corey, and Casey, and Jason, were all very young. And so I thought, I know what I'll do. We'll set up a table there on the entry streets to the neighborhood, out there on the sidewalk, or we'll ask permission on somebody's lawn. We'll set up a table and we'll have a lemonade stand, And we'll also do this when there are events going on, soccer, kids soccer events, football events, whatever was going on, we'll have this lemonade stand. But we did it a lot in the neighborhoods there on the corners. And we would give away, or Brian, Corey, Casey, or Jason would sell lemonade. Roseanne would keep supplying the lemonade for a quarter or whatever. But the main thing is we'd give away, lemonade. And then we were giving away other things for people who were driving in and out of the neighborhood. So think about that now. So we would set it up sometimes in the morning on a Saturday morning when the kids didn't have school, or on weekdays in the late afternoon as adults, our kids were out of school at maybe 3:30, and adults were driving home. And as they drove into the neighborhood, we would have lemonade, or we would have cookies, or we would have this, or we would have this. And we just hand it to people as they drive. Kids would wave, and everybody pulling into the neighborhoods would stop. They just kind of pull off to the side, and we'd say, hey, would you like some cookies? This is the compliments of the Hagues. And they would always just smile and say, well, yeah, I'll take a cookie home, or take this home, or take that home. And I would always, of course, we'd give it to them. And I'd introduce myself, etc. And sometimes I gave up my card, sometimes I didn't. It was not a big deal. But the idea was, boy, did people get to know me. And, they knew I was in real estate. I'd always have my cards on the thing there. And sometimes I'd give them out, sometimes not. That wasn't the point. That was one of the most impactful things we've ever done. We had so much fun with that for a few years. I did it with the kids. And we would do it sometimes, almost every week. It was just something we did. It gave me a chance to spend time with the kids and have some fun, teach them to interact naturally with people, with strangers. And because we met and talked with a lot of people, it enabled us to get to know the neighborhoods incredibly well, get to know all the people in the neighborhoods in a way that wasn't knocking on doors. And it's just, who cannot like a father and his sons, or daughters if you have daughters, who could not like that when you're out there giving away lemonade or cookies or treats or whatever you're doing? Nobody cannot think that's really cool. And of course, the thing you need to remember in real estate is, I know you know this, but it's not just about your compelling message and your value proposition. And of course, I teach that. That's what I coach, is how to have an amazing, compelling message to make the phone ring, set yourself apart, have a value proposition, a way you sell homes and a way you charge for that totally blows all other realtors away. That's what Maverick coaching is all about. But it's bigger than that. When people like you and trust you, when people get to know you, they're going to call you regardless of what your program is, regardless of what your value proposition is. Then if you have the good value proposition, the amazing home selling strategy, you're just a lock. You're just a total lock. And I would venture to say, and I'm not exaggerating, that lemonade stand prospecting, no doubt I earned $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 through just lemonade stand prospecting, just that alone. Over a period of, we probably did it on and off for 5 years, and I easily earned $100,000 a year. That would be just a few sales a year, easily earned that. So $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, all for spending time with my kids, being nice to people, giving something away that didn't cost most anything. And what's the big key to it? Nobody does that. When's the last time you drove in a neighborhood? When's the last time you drove in a neighborhood and saw someone there, a father with, or a mom, mom's fine, with their kids, being nice to people in the neighborhood, giving something away, giving treats away? Come on, how can anybody not like that? So that's something I highly recommend for those of you that have a Maverick in you, because it's not something most people do. You got to actually go out and do something that's really going to say, like, wow, what are they doing? Okay, the next thing is, and by the way, I call that the best neighborhood farming technique on the planet. Why do I think that's the best neighborhood farming technique on the planet? Simply because it's fun. You spend time with kids. You have a good time. It sets you apart, and it doesn't cost hardly anything. It's got all the great attributes to it. So why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? Probably not something you're going to do if you're back east in the middle of winter, but other than that, I think it's a great idea. Then Maverick coaching idea number 2. I did this in my Voxer, my audio Voxer, night before last. And for those of you that would like a link to the audio, just let Jen know. If you're not already in my Voxer coaching, just let Jen know. She'll send you a link to this audio. So this is the magic text message formula. This is worth you guys. This is worth you guys just attending just this. If you didn't get anything else out of this webinar today, listen to this, because this works. This will absolutely positively make you money. So my son Casey, as I mentioned, very proud of you, Casey. I know you're down showing a house right now, so you're not on the webinar. But my son Casey has decided to get into real estate with the family, and really excited about that. He practiced law in California for a few years, and just got tired of reporting to a cube and getting whatever percentage raise they give you each year, et cetera. And he'd seen what a remarkable life and a fun life I've had in real estate. So I was just so excited. I never wanted to pull him away from that. I wanted that to be his decision. But now that he made that decision and he's here, I'm just so excited. So Casey got his first listing, and I admit I helped him with that. $1,395,000 in a community down here in Paradise Valley. And he just got that about a week or 10 days ago. And we're doing our private marketing on that. I believe in a private marketing strategy. All of you who know me know that. I think throwing a sign up and throwing a home in MLS right away is a total wrong thing to do. It's just, there's so much you can do to build anticipation, build excitement, get buyers on a higher price frame of mind, position a home more effectively. But this isn't about that. This is about, as part of the private marketing to get it started, I recommended to Casey that he use this magic text message formula that I developed a long time ago. And it's something that I occurred to me. I hadn't really taught that as in a video or an audio. And it's a way to get other realtors to come over there and really be anxious about seeing and showing the home to their clients, to get on the phone. So what it is and I'm going to give you a sample of the text message here I'm going to give you the actual text message that Casey's using. And I want to tell you before I even do that this text message that he and I spent a lot of time on, probably took an hour just to craft it just right, has generated, and this is in a very tough price range. Homes over $1 million around here are taking 8 to 10 months to sell. Casey's going to sell this home it may be in the next few days, definitely in the next week or two. And it's all because of this magic text message formula, getting realtors over. This home was on the market a year ago and sat for 200 and some days on the market a year ago with virtually no activity, the sellers told us. And we've already had, in the last 2 days, more showings, more good quality showings from realtors on this than during the whole 200 and some days that the home was on the market with the previous realtor. So that'll give you some clue as to how effective this magic text message formula is. So the idea is to not email, not do some mass email. It's not mass anything. It's individual. You identify the 20 or 50 or 100 agents, whatever it is. You identify the agents who are selling homes in the area that you have a listing. You do not put the listing in MLS yet. You do not put the listing, put a sign in front of it. That is, this can be done with that, but it's not the most effective use of this. This is the new listings that you get. And then you text message agents one at a time using their individualized name on the text message. So you take these agents, all the ones who you think might have a possible buyer for a home. You start sending them text messages, and that's what Casey's been doing for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 days straight. All day. If he wasn't down showing the home, meeting realtors, he was sending individualized text messages. And the text message must have 3 components to it. The text message must have a motivation positioning, a price positioning, and an urgency positioning. So it must have a motivation, a price, and an urgency positioning. That is the key to making the text message effective. So let me give you an example. Well, not give you an example. I'm going to actually show you the text message that Casey is using, that he's down there now. The reason he can't attend the webinar is because he had another showing this morning. He had a showing yesterday afternoon, another showing, new buyer this morning. These are serious buyers. They're already now, because of their realtor relaying the messaging that was in the text, they're asking for square footage verification, home improvement verifications. All kinds of stuff that interested buyers ask for. And you watch, we're going to get an offer on that in the next few days, the next few weeks. We're going to sell that home in December when most sellers would presume you couldn't even possibly during the holidays sell a luxury home. We're going to have that thing sold and in escrow this month. And it's all going to be a result of one simple thing, and that is a pre-marketing strategy, no MLS, no sign, and the magic text message formula. So the text message that we crafted is exactly what you see here. Greg, please help with an emergency PV sale. By the way, it's absolutely true, but I'm going to show you how to use whatever your facts are, because we talked at length with the seller. I did, to help Casey with this, and I explained to the seller the importance of a compelling message, of being able to have all three of these components in there: the urgency positioning, the motivation positioning, and the price positioning. And we talked about that, and they told me why they were selling, and we asked for permission to use that. They said it's no problem at all. And so, but I'm going to tell you, if you don't even have as good a stuff, we have very good stuff here to use. I'm going to tell you how you can still make this just as effective. But here's the exact text message that is just keeping him down there, showing after showing after showing, in a price range that there aren't a lot of buyers, $1,395,000. Greg, and this would be directed to whomever the realtor is. So let's say I'm the realtor that's receiving the text message. Please help with an emergency PV sale. Friends must sell immediately. Move to Ohio to care for an ill father. Will sacrifice home for a quick sale. $1,395,000. This is a $400,000 loss. Private marketing starts tomorrow. Now that gets changed. That's being changed now that it's already started. It would just say private marketing just starts. This was the one that we first started sending out when we were getting ready to private marketing. No MLS for personal privacy reasons. Documented receipts for recent remodel, $1.8 million all in. That is, there are $1.8 million in the home. Absolutely the best buy of 2016 in PV. That's Paradise Valley. That's where it's located here in Arizona. This is Casey talking. I'll be there tomorrow from 1 to 4:45. Call or text for address. Very important. You don't put the address in. You make the other realtors reach out for the information, for the address on that. That's a key part of this. Full 3% co-broke. So it's not an MLS. You want to assure them that they're receiving a full 3% co-broke and they're protected. Your easiest commission check ever. So I want to talk about that. A lot of realtors, when they're promoting homes to other realtors, make the mistake of promoting homes to realtors like you'd promote homes to buyers. Buyers are interested in really nice homes that fit their needs, that are a really good buy. Okay, that's what buyers are interested in. Realtors, it's a little different. Realtors could care less about a home. You don't care how pretty a home is that you sell. You just want it to be easy to sell. Let's cut to it. If you've got a buyer, you want a home that's easy to sell so you can earn a commission. And obviously it's got to fit your buyer, but what realtors care about is that you've got a motivated seller who's going to sell a home, and it's going to be an easy commission check. So that's key language to put in this text message, that this is going to be an easy sale for you. If you've got a buyer, if you've got a serious buyer, you're likely to cash a check on this deal. So that's an important part of this. The motivation positioning, you can see what that is. What's the motivation? There's an ill father, they're moving to Ohio. This could be any number of motivations. All sellers have a motivation. You want to be accurate, but you can always make the motivation compelling. You can always craft that accurately and compellingly. Your price positioning. The price positioning here is that they're $1.8 million in this home, and they're willing to sell it for $1,395,000. Well, you may not have that situation. You may have a home where people don't have more in the home than it will actually sell for, but you can price position with comps. You could say in the text, you could pick a home that has sold for more that you could present as not being as good a home, and you could say, look at the comps. This home sold for this. This is $60,000 under recent similar sale, or this or that. And it has this. The whole idea is to price position this. I mean, this could be a $385,000 home, and your price positioning is it's a $30,000 amazing deal. $28,000 amazing deal. The idea is to price position it. So you motivation position it. There's their motivation. Moving to Ohio, ill father, absolutely true. The price positioning is something that you can put 1 or 2 sentences in the text message that will tangibly is not the right word, that gives an example of why this is like an amazing price. So that's the price positioning. And then the urgency positioning is they absolutely are going to sell this home. This home is going to be gone. Quick sale. Will sacrifice home for a quick sale at $1,395,000. The idea is that they want to sell this home now. And then you want to not put the address in it, so the agents have to reach out to you. You want to make sure they know, if you don't have it in MLS, and hopefully you can do this as pre-market, that you've got the 3% co-broke in there. And then you want to make the statement, this is going to be one of the easiest commissions they'll ever earn. And what happened is the agents, not all of them, maybe 1 out of 5 or 6 of the agents, Casey text messages, actually gets on the phone and is calling people. Sure, 5 out of 6 maybe don't, but 1 out of 5 or 6 do. And I mean, just through constantly all day when he's down, I know he's down there right now showing it. I know that he was telling me this morning while he's waiting for showings, and then afterwards, he still just got his list of agents. He's just sending out one text message after another. And it's a win-win. It's a win-win. We did tell the sellers. I helped him, obviously, get this listing, and I made it clear to the sellers. And I hadn't gone on a listing appointment in a long time. I've been coaching for years, but it's just like totally. I just said to them, I talked to them about how detrimental it was to let the home track days on the market, how critical it was to price the home right. We ended up pricing it 150, 200,000 under where they really wanted to be. They wanted to be more in the like $1.5 million, $1.6 million. They really did. And I was honest with them. I just said, can do that. But that is going to hurt you. That is not where this home needs to be. This home needs to be just under $1.4 million, and we're going to get you really, really close to that. And it was a tough pill, but they said, Greg, truth is, we appreciate you just sharing the truth. We just needed to hear the truth. And I said, and I needed to tell you the truth. So, I mean, we got it positioned right. I wasn't afraid to tell them the truth. And the bottom line is they're going to do great. That is the right money on that house, and we're going to get them the right money on that house. So I hope that magic text message formula helps you. I'll mention if you'd like to hear my audio on that, just email Jen at Real Estate Maverick. She'll let you know. There she is for copies of, that we give away a lot of free stuff. So for links to our Maverick webinars, audios, and videos, we've done some pretty cool stuff. Email Jen. Also, my webinar of the year, my last webinar of the year and the premier one of the year is coming up. Actually, the next 2 are going to be amazing. Webinar next week is going to be a run-through on what I believe this year are the most powerful strategies that I've taught. So that's going to be next week, and that's going to be like you want to register for that for sure. And then the following week is going to be what I believe is the best business model, the total ABC. Here's the perfect business model that you should craft for yourself and launch in January of 2017. I'm going to go through that. So our next 2 webinars are going to rock. If you'd like private invites to those, you guys are on my list, to register, but if you're worried about missing it, we can send you links. Jen will do that. And if you enjoy what I do, I'd love to have you leave me a recommendation on LinkedIn. Just go to my profile. It's LinkedIn, Greg Hague, LinkedIn, and under my Mavericks brand, just say, Greg, your webinars are boring, your gift one stunk, this and that, whatever. Just say whatever you want. You say a nice thing, I'd appreciate, but whatever you say, go in and say something. And one of my favorite phrases I'll end with today is, this is actually something Harvey McKay, my friend and partner, had this in a column a couple of years ago, and he talked about having class in the column, and he finished it with his McKay moral, and that was a class act can say a lot without uttering a word, and I've never forgotten that, and it's so true. The way you look, the way you act, the way you shake hands, the way you carry yourself, the way you treat others. You don't have to say a lot of words, but if you're nothing else except for a maverick, be a class act. So I'll finish up, guys, by simply saying, as I always do, I salute the maverick in you. You have an amazing day, and I'll hang on here after I stop the recording in case there are any questions. So here we go.